Here's the full step-by-step no-nonsense guide on how to beat Astra Malorum. Let's talk about loadout before we get into it. I would recommend using the M34 Nova line as it is one of the best weapons against the boss. It just shreds his health. You can see the build code in the bottom left corner. If you don't want to use that, just pause and copy the attachments in it. For your field upgrade, you're going to want to run Frenzied Guard. For the major augment, put Frenzy Fire, and for the minor augment, put Extension. If you have the extra slot for a minor augment, use Repair Boost or whatever you want. It doesn't really matter. I'd also recommend taking in stim shots for the boss fight. For Gobblegums, I'd recommend having Hidden Power, Perkaholic, stuff like that for the beginning, but when you go into the boss fight, the 3 Gobblegums you're going to want to have is Power Keg, Raindrops, and Stock Options. If you do not have Raindrops, that's okay, sub it out for like Idle Eyes or something, but Power Keg and Stock Option is really clutch in the boss fight. I use Gift Card, Hidden Power, and Perkaholic at the very beginning just to make it a little bit easier. You do not have to do this at all. I also use Wonder Bar to get the ray gun for my 3rd weapon with Mule Kick. But enough of that, let's get into it. The first thing we're going to have to do is get Pack-a-Punch and turn on the power. I'm going to run through this quick as it is guided. If you're playing Cursed, it's not guided. Just head into the Observatory Dome and interact with the organ. Now we're going to have to go find 2 pieces, and you can see they're on the map. One is in the Luminarium, and it could be in a few different spots, but mine is right there. Other piece is in the Machina Astrals. Mine is right here, but also there's a few different places that it could be in here. Head back to the dome and interact with the organ to repair it. You'll need to interact with it one more time after it's repaired, and it's going to start a lockdown where you have to protect it without it taking too much damage. Once you do that, you'll have Pack-a-Punch and the power will be on now. Now you are going to need to Pack-a-Punch your weapon for one of the early steps, so just make sure you get it Pack-a-Punched as soon as you can. Once it is Pack-a-Punch, head to the spawn where you'll see Old Tessie. You're going to want to shoot the hood, and it's going to pop out a car battery that you're going to have to pick up. Now this will probably make Oscar spawn in, and if it does, shoot the UFO behind him that's giving him a shield. It's going to drop that UFO. Go ahead and pick it up. Then you can leave him alone as we do not want to eliminate him as we need him for a step in this main quest. Now we're going to have to go around looking for a blinking street post. Right here you can see one that's not blinking. They could be all around the map, so just keep searching until you see one blinking. One could be right here in this corner. I find mine at the entrance of the Luminarium. You can see it blinking. You're going to want to go over and shoot the one that you find blinking. You might have to shoot it a couple times, but it's going to pop out some wiring for you. Go ahead and pick that wiring up. Once you get 500 salvage, you're going to want to head to an arsenal and buy cryo freeze for your weapon. Then you're going to want to find 3 of these purple crystals and shoot them once you have cryo freeze, and it's going to drop an absolute 0 fragment. You'll have to find 3 of these. They're very easy to find. They're all over the map, so you don't have to worry about it. Just make sure you have cryo freeze when you shoot them, as they will not drop it without it. Once you get your 3rd fragment, we have every piece to go ahead and build the LGM-1 Wonder Weapon. Head back to the dome because we need to move the telescope, so interact with the organ. It's going to play a sound, and then you should hear hissing, like gas hissing. And that sound is going to be one of these boxes leaking out steam. You're going to have to shoot it, and we're going to have to find 4 more. There's 5 in total. They can be up here. They could be down below in the purple room. Just find 5 in the time limit. Once you shoot one, it gives you a little bit more time to find the second one. Same with the 3rd, but just keep looking all over the room. I'd suggest turning up your volume so you can hear where it's coming from better. Once you get the 5th one, you'll get a little dialogue from your character. That means you did it correctly. Now, if you fail to do it in the time limit, it's going to make a sound, and then it's going to spawn Oscar in. I would suggest leading Oscar away and going and interacting with the organ again. You can do this on the same round. You do not have to wait for another round. You can do it as many times as you want on the same round. For this next part, we're going to need 3 different Oscars. So once you have one Oscar, find him and aggro him so he starts following you. Now I start with the Luminarium since he is close to it. You can do this in any order you want. So if he's closer to one of these steps, just start with that one. It does not matter what order you do it. Go interact with it to put the UFO in there, and then you're going to want to turn it on with Oscar in the room. It is going to be free to activate it, but once you do activate it, make sure you shoot the UFOs flying around Oscar to take his shield away so it can overcharge his battery. And just keep moving around so you don't get stuck in a corner from zombies. Just do not use Ether Shroud like I do here, as Oscar will leave the room and you will fail, and you'll have to go to another round to start it over. If you do fail, just go to the next round and you could activate it for free again. Again, make sure Oscar's in the room, and you're going to want to shoot the UFOs that are giving him a shield. That way he is not immune anymore. He will become immune again, so just make sure you keep shooting those UFOs to take his shield away. He probably will go immune 2, 3, maybe 4 times while you're doing this. Just, you do not want his shields to be up while you're doing this. Once you do overcharge his battery, it's going to blow him up and we can move on to the next one. He'll drop a shiny trinket, which you do not need at all, so don't worry about it. Now you're going to want to go a couple rounds to get another Oscar to spawn. You should hear a sound at the beginning of the round when he spawns. Just aggro him and make him follow you. Lead him to the museum. You're going to want to lead him to the rocket over here behind the rocket. Once he's pretty much behind it, go interact with it and it's going to blast the rocket off, and you just want him behind it the whole time because once it explodes, it's going to explode him as well. That step is where the absolute 0 fragments came in handy. Now if you fail this step, you will have to go find 3 more purple crystals to shoot to get the absolute 0 fragments, and you can do this on the same round. I believe it doesn't matter. Just make sure you have cryo freeze if you go shoot the purple crystals. The last one I do is in the dome, and we're going to need another Oscar, so just make sure you have them, and then you're going to want to go over to the organ and look in that viewfinder to the left of it. Once you look into it, you will see a solar system. You're just going to want to search around for the sun. Now, if you fail to find it your first try, you can just keep trying over and over as much as you want, and zombies will not mess with you while you are in this. The sun is just going to be a little glowing planet. Go ahead and just go over it, and then it's going to shoot down a beam from the telescope. Just make sure Oscar is still next to you, as I had to go track him down and do this again, and you will have to go to a new round if you do fail this one. With Oscar near you, just lead him into the beam that the telescope is shooting out, and he will eventually explode. You don't really have to do anything. If this is the last one you did like me, he will drop the LGM-1 for you. It does not matter, like I said, what order you do it in. If you did it in a different order, it's just the last one you did, he is going to drop this wonder weapon for you. Now, a word of advice: if you have meal kick and this is your 3rd weapon that you get and you go down, you will lose this wonder weapon and you will not be able to get it back, which is going to force you to restart the whole thing over again. This happened to me, unfortunately. Even with the augment where you get your 3rd weapon back, it is glitched right now. I don't know what's going on, so just be very careful. I'd suggest getting that as your 2nd weapon and then getting a 3rd one after you get this, so you do not run into this issue. Now for the next part, we're going to need a 4th Oscar. Yes, a 4th Oscar, so just go a couple rounds till one spawns in, but you do not want to aggro him. You want to follow behind him without him seeing you, as he is going to play a few audio logs that you have to listen to. Now, if you're doing this solo, I'd suggest having only 1 zombie left when you do this, as it does get a little annoying even with 1 zombie left. I use my decoys and my ether shroud just to have the zombie away from me so I could listen. I'd also suggest having subtitles on so you know what the doctor says. You want to wait for playback elimination 20, which is Dr. Thurston. He will say the name of 3 different planets. You'll just want to remember them. Mine are going to be Jupiter, Earth, and Mercury. You want to remember them in that order specifically. Yours are going to be different most likely, so just jot yours down. Then you can leave Oscar alone. We do not need to mess with him. Those 3 planets he gave you will come out to a 3-digit code, and I will give you the cheat sheet for that code right now. Here is the cheat sheet. My planets were Jupiter, Earth, Mercury, so my 3-digit code is going to be 531. Just find your planets in your order and take that 3-digit code and write it down. This cheat sheet will never change, so if you fail your 1st, 2nd, 3rd run, whatever, if you come back to this cheat sheet will always be the same. Mercury will be 1 and Pluto will be the last one, so just reference this back again if you need to. Now with that 3-digit code, head to the dome and look for this machine. Interact with it. You're going to want to enter your code. Mine was 531. If you do it correctly, it will turn green and it's going to lower a platform right here that you're going to want to hop up onto. Once you hop up onto it, interact with the body and it's going to grab you a key. Before you leave, go interact with the viewfinder again, and you're going to want to find Mars this time. Once you do find Mars, hover over it in the bottom left where it says deck. You will see a set of 4 numbers. Most of the time it's 4. As you can see, mine is 3. Mine's 538. Now, if you happen to get 3 digits like I do, it's going to be 5308. Whatever one is just a single digit is going to have a 0 in front of it, but most of the time it is going to give you the full 4 digits. Take a picture or write them down because you will need to remember them. After you get that code, head over to the museum, and in this corner you're going to see this case. You're going to want to break the glass. Once you break the glass, just interact with it and you'll pick up the saw. Head to Machina Astralis and you're going to want to interact with this cryo chamber. It's going to pop out Dr. Thurston and you're going to have to interact with him. Now I cannot show this part because it will get me demonetized, but you're going to interact with him for a minute. Oscar is going to spawn and you're going to end up getting his brain. Once you have that, head to the Luminarium and you're going to want to interact with this to put the brain in it. Then interact with it again and it's going to start a lockdown where you have to protect it for a certain amount of time. Do not let it take too much damage. Your screen will flash white if you complete it. Now you can head back to the container and pick up the brain. Once you pick it up, your movement will be slowed and you will not be able to sprint, so keep that in mind, but you're going to want to head back to Machina Astralis. Head to the bottom of the stairs and you're going to want to interact with this machine to put the brain in it. Then you'll want to hold interact to connect the brain with the machine. On the left side, you'll see Dr. Thurston's reading list. Make sure you pay attention to this. Pay attention to the names of the books in order. You're going to want to write them down or take pictures of them in order. You can get anywhere from 3 to 9 books, I believe. So just keep your eye out and pay attention to the order. I got a total of 6. Now head upstairs to this machine right here, interact with it. You're going to want to enter that 4-digit code you got from looking in the viewfinder at Mars. Mine was 5308. If you do it correctly, it will light up blue and say ready. Then head downstairs into this room of archives. You will see your first statue right there. Your second one is going to be over here. The last one is going to be in the left corner over here at the bottom of the stairs. Just remember, in order, it's going to be this statue first. This statue is going to have bookshelves next to it, and you can go up to the bookshelf and see the name of a book. You can also interact with the book, and it will pop up the name of it on your screen. Just over on the other side of the door, there is going to be 2 more bookshelves that you can see for this first statue. You could go interact with those 2 bookshelves and get the last 2 book names for that first statue, as you can see what I did right there. Now the second statue is going to be these 3 bookshelves next to it that you can get the name of the 3 books. Then the third statue down at the bottom will have 3 bookshelves that has the name of 3 different books as well that you can see the names of. This is going to seem pretty complicated at first, but it is very easy once you get the order of it down. I will put a cheat sheet on the screen to make this super simple for you. These are the names of the books each statue has, and they will never change. So the first statue always has those 3, the second always has those 3, and the third always has those 3. Now you're just going to have to find how many books you have in each statue. If you have 1 in the first, 2 in the first, 3... second if you have 1, 2, or 3, and the third one if you have 1, 2, or 3. For the first statue, I had 2 books. I had the Black Veil and the Moon Directive. The second statue, I had 2 books as well, Echoes of Andromeda and the Unknowable Void. For the third statue, I had 2 books as well. I had Silence at Singularity and Witchlight Codex, which makes my code 222. So just find the number of books you have in each statue, and you're going to want to remember that. If you have 1 in the first statue, write it down. If you have 2, write it down. If you have 3, write it down. Same with the second one. How many ever books you have, write it down. Third one as well, just write it down. Your code could be 132 231. It's just going to be different every time. That 3-digit code is going to tell you how many times you turn each statue. So if you have 1, 2, or 3 books in the first statue, that's how many times you're going to turn it. Same thing with the second statue. Same thing with the third statue in the bottom corner. Once you have your code, you'll have to do this pretty quick, but mine was 222. So I'm going to turn the first statue 2 times. I'm going to head to the second statue and turn it 2 times as well. Then I'm going to head to the third statue and turn it twice as well. And if you do this correctly, your character will say a little dialogue. Once you do it correctly, there will be a hatch that opens at this ladder right here. Just climb up the ladder. You're going to want to interact with the planet, grab it, then get off the ladder. If you end up not getting the code right with the statues, you'll just have to go to a new round and do it again. Now with that planet you just got, you're going to want to head up these stairs and interact with this rod to put the planet on it. Then it's going to do a little animation. Then we're going to have to find 3 pieces of paper with planets and 2 letters on them. As you can see, one is in the archive room on the table. This one says SE, which just stands for Southeast. Just mark down what you have in the planet next to it. The second piece of paper will be upstairs right here on this desk. Go ahead, just write what you have down. I have Southwest with that planet. The last piece of paper is going to be in the Luminarium by the laser trap over here on this desk. Just look at it. Mine is Northeast. Just make sure you have all 3 of these written down with the planets, or take a picture of them, because we're going to need to line these planets up with their coordinates. Now head back to the room with the solar system in it, and you will see that there is a compass underneath it, and you can find your coordinates here. What I like to do is ping the one that I need and shoot the planet that needs to be at that coordinate, so I know exactly where it needs to go, and you're just going to want to shoot it in that direction with whatever planet you have. Line it up with your ping. This makes it super easy. As you can see, it is lined up. Same thing with the second piece of paper, just ping the location on the compass, and then you're going to want to shoot the planet that was on that piece of paper over in that direction. Just shoot the planet till it's lined up with your ping. Find your third one and ping it, and you're going to want to do the same thing with the last planet. Just keep shooting it until it's lined up with your ping, and when you think everything is good and correct, go interact with the brain again, and it is going to start a lockdown where Oscar spawns in, and you're going to have to protect this portal right here from Oscar. He will try to destroy it. Now don't focus on Oscar. He's going to be sending UFOs to the portal. You're going to want to destroy those UFOs before they get to the portal, and they make sounds every time he spawns one, and it's only going to be one at a time, so it's not too bad, but you're going to have a lot of zombies after you and Oscar chasing you too. Just make sure you protect that portal. Now if one of the UFOs actually damages the portal, it's just going to drop the health bar a little bit, which is not a big deal. You just do not want a bunch of them to damage it, because if you let too many damage it, you will not get it done in enough time. If you have to, use Idle Eyes or your Ether Shroud if you have it. If you do fail, you can retry it on the same round, but if you do complete it, you're going to be teleported to Mars. Once you're on Mars, you're going to see Dr. Thurston's brain appear in the sky, and it's going to fall. Go ahead and just go interact with it and pick it up. Head up top where you spawn and put his brain on this machine, and then he is going to say a little dialogue, and you can interact with it, and it's going to make a loud noise after you connect his brain. When you hear that noise, jump down and run to the window in the back over here, and you're going to want to look out to the far right back pillar and shoot it. Once it glows blue, turn to your left, and the furthest back pillar, shoot that one till it turns blue, and then you're going to want to look back to the right and shoot the closest pillar on the right till it turns blue. Same with the left side, go to the closest one till it turns blue. Then turn around, and where you spawn at, you'll see one up top. Go ahead and shoot that. If you did it correctly, it will spawn a flying object in the arena. Now we're going to need to catch that flying object that's flying around the arena. If it starts flying away, just shoot the pillar in the spawn to get it back. When it's in a good spot, jump towards it and hold interact, and you will pick it up. Your screen will flash white, and that means you have caught it. It is easier to catch with low gravity off, but you can also do it with low gravity on. You just have to wait a little bit, but once you catch it, head over to this, interact with it. You're going to put it on that little object. Then you're going to want to take the portal back so you can get off of Mars. Then head back into the dome, and you're going to want to interact with the organ one more time. Once you interact with it, it will make a sound, and then it's going to pop up different emblems on the screen. You're going to want to memorize them in the order that it pops up, but you are going to get a static one somewhere in between. It could be the first, second, third, fourth, or fifth one, but once it's done, it will go to static again. And you could do this as many times as you want to memorize the order. Your order is most likely going to be different than mine, so just memorize your order. Now that you know your symbols, we're going to head back to Mars, and we're going to have to do one more thing before we are boss fight ready. When you get back to Mars, take out the LGM-1. You need this for this step, and you're going to want to shoot the top of these pillars right there with your UFOs, and it's going to activate them. There will be 5 pillars, 2 down here, 1 up here on this side of where you spawn. The last one is down to the right over here, and once you have all 5 activated, they will be glowing, and you're going to have to figure out what order you need to activate them in with your symbols. Now the symbols on the pillars actually look a little different from what they did on the organ screen. I am going to pop up a photo so you can see what they look like compared to the ones on the organ screen. The top are what the symbols look like on the organ screen, and then the bottom is what they correlate to on the pillars inside of Mars. You know 4 of the 5 symbols that you got from the organ, so the one that is interference, just match it with the one that you don't see out of the 5 you got, and there you go, boom, you have your 5th symbol. Just remember, if your 2nd, 3rd, 4th, or 5th symbol was static, that's the order you're going to have to activate it in. If you got the static 3rd, you're going to have to activate it 3rd. This is the order that I got in my game, and my 5th one ended up being the static, so I just matched it with the symbol that I was missing, and you can see this is my order, so I'm going to have to activate the pillars in this order. Just match up your order with the pillars, and that's the way you will have to activate them. I would just save a zombie and take a couple laps around all 5 pillars and figure out what order you need to activate them in so you get it correct first try. Just, take your time, do this correct so you don't have to do it over. When you do figure it out and you activate your first one, you will have a limited amount of time to activate all 5. So, just make sure you know them, head over to all of them and interact with them as quick as you can. Once you interact with your last one, your screen will flash white and now you will be boss fight ready. Before you activate the boss fight, I'd recommend getting all your weapons, Pack-a-Punch 3, getting what perks you need, your equipment, your tacticals, kill streaks, whatever you need, go and get it before you activate this boss fight. I'd highly recommend Frenzied Guard for your field upgrade, Stims for your equipment, and bringing in 3 Gobblegums, Power Keg, Raindrops, and stock option if you have them. I'd recommend the hand cannon for your kill streak, and then also bringing in some essence with you because you're not going to get that much ammo here. There's no max ammo, so you're going to have to buy it from an ammo crate. You can also buy armor plates on the wall too. Once you got everything you need and you're ready, you're going to want to go up to this machine with the brain on it and you're going to interact with it. Once you interact with it, some dialogue is going to happen, then you are going to be in the boss fight now. The first phase of this fight, you're going to be fighting a huge skull in the sky, and his one attack is going to be a laser beam that he just follows you around with, so just stay on the move and do not let it hit you, as it does a good amount of damage if you sit still and let it hit you. While you're running around, use the LGM-1 Wonder Weapon to eliminate zombies, that way you're not wasting ammo and any other weapons that you have. You're going to have to eliminate a good amount of zombies to power up that pillar over there that has a soul box on it. Don't waste your time trying to shoot the skull in the sky because you cannot damage him. Your screen is going to flash white after you eliminate enough zombies. Head up to the top and you're going to want to interact with the brain. It is going to take a few seconds for you to fully interact with it. Avoid the beam, but once you do that, it's going to take a quarter of his health away. And then you're going to go into the second part of this phase where you're going to have to do the same thing and just eliminate zombies to fill up the other soul box. He will have a new attack now where he throws rocks at you. And when the rocks hit the ground, they will leave lava spots, so just avoid the lava spots because they can damage you. Also, just stay on the move to avoid the beam as well. Your screen will flash white again once you eliminate enough zombies, and you're going to want to do the same thing. Head up to the top and interact with the brain. Once that finishes, you're going to take a good chunk of his health away, and we're going to have to do this one more time in this phase. He also will have a third attack now on top of the other two where he fills the bottom of the arena with gas, so just avoid the bottom of the arena when this happens, as it will slow you down and choke your character and slowly drain your health. Your screen is going to flash white again once you eliminate enough zombies. You're going to want to head up top to interact with the brain again, but do try to avoid the laser. If you have to, just wait till he stops his laser attack, then go interact with it. Once it finishes, you're going to completely take all his health away, and now we're going to go into phase 2 of the boss fight, and phase 2 is still easy. It's a little bit tougher than that one, but now you're going to actually be able to use your weapon against the boss. He's now going to turn into a rock creature, and I would suggest using the LGM-1 to just keep continuously shooting him, as we're going to have to do enough damage to open up a crit spot on him. Once you do enough damage, you'll see a glowing blue crit spot that you can now shoot him. This is where I would suggest switching to your M34. The M34 does a really good amount of damage to his crit spot, and it shreds his health. I like to switch back and forth between the LGM-1 and the M34, as he is a bullet sponge, so this is just going to take a little bit of time. Just be patient, take your time with it, keep your distance from them, just keep on moving. This phase is relatively easy, so we're not going to want to waste our Frenzy Guard on this phase. We're going to want to save Frenzy Guard for phase 3 and 4. After a while, you will do enough damage finally where we take him out, and we're going to go on to phase 3. There's going to be a mimic that spawns at the beginning of phase 3. I'd recommend taking it out with the LGM-1 as fast as you can so you don't have to deal with it later while he's still immune. This phase, he gets a little bit faster and more aggressive. He's going to throw boulders at you now that can actually hurt you. They do a decent amount of damage, and they can stun you and make you slow down. So just keep on the move. You're going to want to do the same thing. Shoot him with the LGM-1 until you do enough damage to open up that crit spot. He will also have a new attack where he slams the ground, and if you are not jumping in the air when he does that, it's going to stun you and make you very slow and do a lot of damage, so watch out for that. Watch out for the boulders. Just stay on the move until you see that crit spot glowing. Now once you have that crit spot open, you're going to want to waste some ammo in the LGM1. Go buy max ammo, then pop your frenzy guard right after you buy it and just unload into him non-stop since you have unlimited ammo with frenzy guard, and it's going to do a bunch of damage to him as you're just non-stop shooting UFOs at him, and those UFOs will damage him when you're not even shooting at him. If you do get stunned by him, it'd be a good time to use your stim shots. That way you can just keep going and not even let it affect you. But as you can see, this thing is just shredding his health, and you should pretty much be able to fully eliminate him in this phase with one frenzy guard. Now we're on the fourth and final phase. This is where I recommend popping power keg or raindrops to get your frenzy guard back. If you have power keg, pop that. I had to use mine on the phase before, so that's why I used raindrops. Now you will see a power-up spawn on a podium near the brain. Do not grab it right now. It never disappears, so wait until you have his crit spot open and his health is about halfway down. That way you can use that to finish him super easy. Now the boss is a lot faster and more aggressive, and the boulders that he throws at you have an electric field to them, so when they hit the ground, it's going to have an electrical field on the ground that is very deadly to you, so watch out for those. Use your stems if you get stunned, that way you can get sped up, but he's also going to have a way more powerful slam attack that he does that's going to do way more damage to you and stun you even more. Just continuously shoot him with your LGM1 until you get that crit spot. If you end up going down like I do, just make sure you have equivalent exchange on quick revive, that way you can use your ray gun to get back up and keep all your perks. If you don't know what equivalent exchange is, it's just an augment on quick revive that you can equip to it. I was using the ray gun as my third weapon for meal kick. If you go down, you're going to lose the ray gun, so just be cautious, as if you go down, you're not going to be able to get back up with your ray gun anymore. Once you see the crit spot, do the same thing. Waste ammo, go buy max ammo, then quickly use your frenzy guard and just unload everything into him with the LGM1, as this does shred his health. Just stay on the move and try not to get trapped in a corner, as he is very fast and aggressive in this phase. I try going for the power up right here, but he blocks me, so that was a no-go. When your frenzied guard runs out, I'd recommend popping stock options so you can have unlimited ammo again and just keep shooting him like you did with frenzy guard. I am able to pick up the power up right there, and I think it's kind of like an insta-kill to him. It does a lot more damage, what it seems like. You can see how much damage the LGM1 does to him even when you're not shooting him, just because of the continuous bullets that you're shooting at him. It is just shredding his health, but eventually you will beat him. And that is all 4 phases done, and you have beat the boss and got your calling cards. And then you'll be put into the cutscene. Now I don't know if they're going to tweak this since this is kind of broken, so I do it while you can. If this walkthrough helped you out, I'd appreciate the sub, and I got more zombie content coming soon. Good luck on your runs, and I'll see you in the next one.